chosen for a topic, sending the disciples. My lesson can be found in our teaching book, our teaching manual. Didn't write my page down. I thought I did. Yes, chapter 4, page 44. I've also chosen to be a teacher that's doing a presentation to teachers. And my lesson today will be more of a discussion among teachers than presenting just a subject. And I'm going to do my best to follow through. So I'm going to follow through and give everything. The audience tonight is the students from HKM Bible Institute School of Ministry. That's the students here that I'm teaching. I'm teaching teachers how to teach. And they're taking a 2-year degree college to graduate with their and beginning of their bachelor degree in this Bible study. My students are ages 25 to 70, and they're all born-again believers, members of a church, and they're in the working class. What is my objectivity for the class? At the end of this class, the students will know that the master teacher is Jesus. They will know that Jesus had 12 disciples. Jesus sent 12 disciples, and he also sent 70 out. Now, in my study, I found out that they said that Jesus used the number 12 because he was likening it to the 12 tribes. I don't know if you have read anywhere where it talked about the 12 tribes, and that's why Jesus chose the number 12 for 12 disciples. My lesson topic is found in Matthew chapter 10. And when you as teachers, you are going to teach your subject, the first thing you do is pray in your class. After prayer, welcome the students. After you welcome the students, introduce the topic, sending of the disciples. And our lesson is found in Matthew chapter 10, reading from verse 1 all the way down to 42. Our lesson is also found in Luke chapter 10, reading from verse 1 down to 20. Because I don't have all the time to read everything that I want to say in the lesson, in the Bible study, I'm just going to read a few verses from each chapter and ask teachers to help me with that. So we have a student here. Adrian, can you read verse 1 for me? And one of the things that we do is to encourage the students. Although I have handouts for the teachers to look at, that when you're teaching from the Bible and not written text, although it's in the text, I prefer reading from the Bible. And when he had called unto them his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirit to cast them out and all manner of diseases. Now the names of the 12 disciples are. Now in Matthew chapter 10, Matthew named all of the disciples. So all of the disciples are named here. And when we look at Luke, comparison of the same thing, when he sent the 70 out, the 70 are not named. Right. There's no names given for the 70. It just says that he appointed 70. He didn't call. Jesus called his disciples to him. And when he called them, they sat together and they talked and he trained and he teach them that they will go forth. And he sent. The key word for me in this lesson is the word sent. What does sent mean? Sent means is to carry a package or something to go from one place to another. And when I was studying it, I also found out that, and I came to a conclusion for myself. As a child, when I saw sent, I know something is moving. It's a word and it's moving. But nowadays, when we hear the word sent, the first thing come to mind is a computer. You send something from here all across the world by a computer, by the lines, right? And that's what came to mind for me with the word sent. I have in my outline how to teach a lesson, what to follow up in my package that I have to give out to the teachers. And then I have 2 ways to teach a lesson. One, to teach chapter by, each verse by verse. And the next way to teach is to teach us side by side. So for example, I'm gonna have in the classroom, this is one way to teach teachers. Remember, my focus is on teachers teaching. So this is one way you could teach this lesson. Have 2 students in your class, side by side. You find Matthew chapter 10, you find Luke chapter 10, and then we are going to compare the verses. And one will be A and one will be B. And because when you look at it, when you read it through and through, you will see some of the things that Jesus said in 10. Matthew, he says the same thing in Luke 10. He tells them, he gives them advice. He tells them where to go first and where not to go. Don't go to the Gentiles. Go to the lost house of Israel. He told them, when you go to the city, if they welcome you, peace. If you go to the house and they welcome you, peace. But if they don't welcome you, shake it off, the dust off your feet, for a testimony against them. And he says that in both chapters, both books. He also tells them, don't carry no purse. They're going to offer you up to the judge and the governors and all of this. The people of the town are going to offer you up. But don't even worry about what you're going to say. So students, when you study the word, you take your notes of the word. You get yourself ready to teach the word. And our teaching of the lesson, each lesson, is done by according to the age group that we are teaching. So I have, how am I going to follow up? I have handouts for my classes. I have handouts. Here I have chosen a name, Academy of Learning. That's my school, Academy of Learning. And it says, Jesus, the Master Teacher, sending his disciples. Jesus sending the 70. And here it is for, I'm teaching from youth, the youth. When I'm teaching the youth, they have their follow-up for the youth is that they are going to answer questions. Name the master teacher. How did the master teacher teach his disciples? How did the master teacher set examples for disciples to follow? How did he send his disciples? He sent them in a group. How did he send the 70? He sent them 2 by 2. And then notes for them of something that they have learned in the lesson that we have gone through. For the preschoolers, Sister Shannon, for the preschoolers, I have them to color the picture of Jesus teaching his disciples. So this way, I have something follow up for them to do. For the students tonight in this class, the teachers, I have a challenge for you. And that challenge is tonight, are you willing to take the challenge and go? Are you willing to go where Jesus would have you to go? I send you. I need Prophet to come. Yes. I need Prophet to come. No, come quick. I got 1 minute. Walk fast. Stay right here. I need Sister Adrian to come. Walk fast. Okay, so this is God, this is Jesus. Come. Father sent Jesus. Jesus sent the 12 disciples. the 12 disciples didn't send nobody. They ain't send nobody.
That's right.
Jesus sent the 70. The 70 ain't send nobody. No,
Right.
Jesus also sent others. Us. Others is us.
Okay.
You understand me?
Yes. Yes.
So God the Father sent them, and Jesus sent the 12, and go to the 70 and send us, and that's how we get it today. That's us.
Good job.
But we are sent. Thank you very much.